Yeah, top of the day to you. We want to welcome you to today's program, which is a special episode of Voters Forum. Of course, the program is Voters Forum, and it's a special day because today elections is taking place in Ondo State. And as I talk to you now, casting and vote casting is seriously midway. In the next few hours, the ballot will be closed, and of course, counting will start. On days like this, you don't have any skirmishes in the early hours until when the results begin to trickle in, particularly when those who are agents of each of the political parties begin to see through the way the voting is going on, how people are voting. Don't worry, people like us know how the voting goes on as observers on election day. And of course, the agents too, they know, because they know where their political party is on the ballot box paper, and once that is being printed massively in the hand, the way the hands of the voter goes, they know how to read it. So midway, anything 2, 3, 4, you begin to hear noises. Those who have started and who said earlier around this time that INEC is doing well, everything is going smoothly, you begin to hear there is rigging, there is rigging, there is rigging. Unfortunately, an election took place in America some few days ago. We didn't hear anything called rigging. It's only in Nigeria, in some cases, African countries, that you have issues of rigging. Be that as it may, Ondo State is a peculiar state, particularly for this election. Peculiar in the sense is that just two brothers that are contesting, as it were. They are from the same local government in the same area, and apart from that, we have 16 or 15 other people contesting with them to make the number 17. But of the 17 contestants, it's just these two, the candidate of the APC and the candidate of the PDP, that are the front runners in this election. And to that extent, we hope we'll have a clear and clean election. 1, 2. Equally, the police too have come out with various guidelines to ensuring that everything is smooth. The most interesting thing is that of all the security agencies that partakes in election, the Amotekun has been banned from taking part. That leaves it with only federal agencies like the road safety, the DSS. Even if they can include the customs, and what's this one now? The police, which is of course the main one, and of course military of all formations, obviously, because Ondo is a riverine, it has some riverine areas, then definitely the Navy will be used. Be that as it may, we'll leave that one. Our guest is in the studio with me, and of course, we is going to do justice to this. And before we got cracking, we just want you to listen to our mini feature, and when we get back, then we'll now take the meat of this discussion. Don't go away.
Sensitive materials had arrived in Akure, the state capital, on Monday and kept safely at the Akure branch of the Central Bank of Nigeria. In line with the schedule for the election, the Independent National Electoral Commission distributed the materials to all the 18 local government councils in the state. The exercise, which took place at the premises of the Central Bank in Akure, Ondo State capital, has in attendance representatives of the security agencies, party agents, local observers, among others. Security has been beefed up within and outside the premises of the bank, while provision has equally been made for the safe custody of the materials. INEC officials were assisted by some staff of the bank in moving the materials out of the store for onward movement into the waiting vehicles. The resident electoral commissioner in the state, Oluwatoyin Babalola, with the support of other top officials, had earlier addressed party agents and observers on the significance of the exercise was a credible, fair and free election in the state. Some of the agents of political parties spoke on their perception of the exercise and their expectations on Saturday.
We are highly excited with what we have seen since yesterday. This is a sign that INEC is fully prepared to conduct free, fair and credible elections in Ondo State. All political party chairmen are present here to serve the distribution. And with the way INEC is distributing, I think we are very happy with it. All resources have been countersigned, and I am assuring the good people of Ondo State that this election is going to be free, fair, and they should come out en masse to vote for a candidate of their choice or a party of their choice.
So far, I would say that INEC is on track. Yesterday, we were here to inspect the materials. On Monday, we were at the airport to see the arrival of the materials. And we are here also now to see the distribution of the sensitive materials. So far, so good. I was privileged to have heard the team lead for the election logistics support team. You know, she was practically reading out a riot act to the logistics support team. And I think that's the way to go.
The is that INEC is doing well. There's always improvement. What they are doing is transparent. Every political party is represented here. So we are, as a chairman of a party, I'm happy with this process.
Not only that, the resident electoral commissioner in the state, Oluwatoyin Babalola, assured parties and eligible voters of the neutrality of the commission.
We started distribution this morning. We have distributed to the farthest local government. They have taken their ballot paper, they have collected their beavers, they have collected their result sheets, and they have left. The farthest local governments have left. I mean Ilaje, Ondo, Okitipupa, and Irele. And also all the Akoko axes, they have left, or Wanose are about to leave now. And Ondo East, Ondo West, Idore, Ifedore, they are loading.
Did you encounter any form of challenges while distributing?
No challenge at all, because we are prepared ahead of time. We had a schedule, a worksheet, how we want the sharing to be. So, and we're not doing local government by local government.
With this development, the stage seemed to have been set for the conduct of the governorship election in Ondo State. Kunle Ojo, Galaxy TV.
Yes, you're welcome back. I hope my prediction will not come right too. You know, about 3 or 4 of them said, everything is okay. INEC has done well. It's going to be a fantastic election. I hope the music and the song will not change. Anyway, I'm not alone in the studio. With me is Comrade Akin Tunde Adedeji. Yeah. Comrade, welcome to the studio.
It's a pleasure having me.
I'm sure this election is not new to you. I'm sure you're having known and been part of this. What is your expectation of this election? Let's just start from that, because of particularly the caliber of the major contenders or contestants.
Well, we've had several, gubernatorial elections, in this country, and Ondo State should not be an exception.
Okay.
Simply put, what I personally expect, as the outcome of how Ondo State decides who govern them for the next 4 years is that we, as advocates, of free, fair, and credible elections, want the conduct of the election to be peaceful, free, fair, and credible, devoid of electoral malpractices, and violence free. I think anything short of that, we can't expect less than that.
Okay. The performance has a lot to do with the people and the voting. The two of them, particularly the front runners, or let me leave that one first. Let's look at it. Politics in Ondo State is a little bit dicey. We'll just find out that it is not done on party lines, as it were. Generally, it is seriously done on personality. Do we see an Ajayi upturning an Ayetediwa?
Well, the election is going to be very interesting, and at the same time going to be a kind of keenly constituted one.
Okay.
So, just as you rightly mentioned, Agbola Ajayi, who happened to be a former deputy governor under the late Rotimi Akeredolu, and he defected to the PDP. He was formerly APC member before he defected because of internal differences, what have you. And the incumbent, who is also the second, the two of them are the major gladiators.
You got the second deputy governor.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a contest.
In Yoruba line, you look at it that one is the head wife, while the second one is the junior wife.
So it's a major contest between two former deputy governors now, who are now contesting to become,
their own man.
Exactly, that call the shots. Just as I said, it's going to be keenly contested, and Ondo to be in particular. Election has gone through individual, as in pedigree antecedent, not on party, like just as Bradley mentioned. And I think there's nothing is going to change.
Okay.
Because it has to do with the individual who are now contesting for such offices.
Okay.
I don't think that anything will be different from what we've seen in the past.
Okay. This time around, the two major political parties picked their candidates from the same local government area or senatorial district, as it were. While unfortunately, as it were, the other political parties scattered around the state to scout for candidates. That's the second leg of my question to you. Now, will this issue of geographical spread, balloting, population, have anything to do with the outcome, or these other ones will now zero themselves up because since they are from different local government area, they will now share the votes, now making these two from the same local government to now pick from them so as to balance up?
From my own perspective, I think the election is going to be a little bit dicey, in the sense that the two major contenders are from the same senatorial district, from the riverine, Elijah said, and what have you, and the other lesser contenders, so to speak, each candidate are going to have their own fair share of the votes being casted, and we can rule out the power of incumbency, because in this line, Nigeria is a case study. All the missionaries of the state is still domiciled with the incumbent governor, who is now a candidate in the ongoing election. I think the head is still within in his corner.
This incumbency factor that you mentioned is being demystified now in Nigeria. It was just done last month or 2 months ago in September in Edo State, where Obaseki thought he's going to use the power of incumbency. I was following him because I really did a study of Edo State, to the extent that Obaseki appointed about 5 special assistants from each of the local government, who was that he has close to 100 and something special assistants. And they were boasting that with this number of people who are the eyes of the governor in the wards, they are going to show that they win the election hands down, which did not happen, despite the power of incumbency. Do we still see incumbency factor? Why
I made mention of incumbency factor is that Governor Ayedatiwa, Lucky Ayedatiwa, is from APC. Agbola Ajayi is of the PP. Now, we are talking of federal might. because all we are being governed, by APC as a political party. So definitely the federal might factor will play in favor of, the incumbency. Because, virtually all the APC, governors, will not be in Ondo State to support, their own. You cannot, we can't divulge the fact of, the crisis that is, affecting PDP. PDP has, yet to get, their bearings, right, presently as we speak. So why APC has, continued to work, stronger. So the federal might and the incumbency factor, those are the two factors that will play in favor of, Lucky Aiyedatiwa.
Okay, again, I will take you back to Osun State. Osun State had a candidate in the name of Adegboyega Oyetola, who was the incumbent governor. It is even said that Oyetola and Tinubu are cousins. Tinubu was the president, APC man, Oyetola governor, APC governor. But despite that correlation and the incumbency and the federal might, PDP won through Adeleke. That's why I'm looking at it that the issue of incumbency may not be and cannot and has gone forever in this country. Rather, it is one thing or the other that may cause the incumbency to be seen to work. But in most, as it in the Osun election, the incumbency did not work.
The Osun issue, I think though there are a lot of underlying and hidden factors.
Okay.
Which unseated Boyega Oyetola.
Okay.
Because the election that enthroned, that brought Oyetola in the first term was marred with a lot of electoral malpractices. Yes. And from some angle, it was of the opinion that Adeleke actually won that election, but it was rigged in favor of Oyetola because
let's leave that one, because we have they went to the election tribunal and Oyetola won, so the issue of rigging is out of it. And let's leave that aspect because it is legal, it has already been laid to rest. Where I'm going is that incumbency factor, can it be said to be still working in this country, where we can use, even if it's just one example? I'm even happy because Tinubu and Oyetola are cousins as it were, and Tinubu was the president of, and he was an APC man. Oyetola was the governor who was contesting as an APC candidate, and the incumbency factor did not work from Oshogbo down to Iragbiji, Saoke, where is this other town? Oshogbo and all Lede, and of course Ikirun and all the other hamlets, Ijibado and Iragbiji and so on. The incumbency factor did not work in all the towns and all the villages there. So how can we now look at it that it is something strong? I'm just looking at it that here. Can Aiyedatiwa rely on that or on his own, what he has been able to do so far?
They should not bank on the issue of incumbency.
Okay.
And it's not incumbency should not be should not be your strength. You must have done
your homework. Okay.
You must have done some certain thing that now let the electorate and the voters to now vote for you. But the moment you bank on incumbency, I think it might be because once in 100. So it's not necessarily that being an incumbent governor, that you have it as easy as you feel. So it has to do with what you have done in the past.
Okay.
Before this time, that is what play out.
Yes, I'm sorry we got carried away in the studio. We have our Zoom guest who is right on ground in Akure or in Ondo State. He will tell us his location. The last time we relate him, he was in Akure. I wouldn't know, because when we are observing elections, we are always moving up and down, running down to ensure that we know and see what is happening. We have on Zoom from Ondo State, Comrade Benga Sholoki. Comrade Benga Sholoki, sorry for keeping you waiting. Can you hear me? Okay, we'll do is that once it's on, once I see him come up on screen, just cut up what we are doing in the studio and join him immediately, so that I will not waste his time. Let's continue the discussion in the studio. When he comes on, so link up with him to know and give us an update of what is coming. We have two guests actually via Zoom. The other guest is Nelson Ekunjimi. Any one of them that comes up, please let them hook up. And if you can bring the two of them together, please let's have them. Comrade, I appreciate the way you now got the gist and your advice to people who are in government, who will think because they are incumbent, it's automatic that they win second term. That is just the message. And the essence of working and securing a second time is that you have done right the first time and you want to do it again. Although there are some politicians who said that, well, if someone is seeking a second term, it's for him to make it right, that the first time he failed, and that if anybody fails, he's given the opportunity to do a receipt. That may be for educational purposes, not in using it to now for human lives, because 4 years in a human life is not easy. A whole lot of damage will have been done, some opportunities and all. And even it has led to death. Even government's policy and mismanagement has really led to many loss of lives and so on. So I don't think that should fit in as an example that, yeah, someone who misses it the first time should be given the opportunity the second time. I really want to appreciate that one good term deserves another term. I want to believe that will be sweet. So my brother, before our people on this Zoom comes on, the electorate, is it, can one say that they should shine their eyes very well, they should look at the various candidates very well and not be moved by rhetorics, because what we in Nigeria is that rhetorics. This time around too, there was still a lot of rhetorics in the air. The politicians really, but the candidates did not really give the electorate or tell them what they intend doing. Rather, it was just jamboree, dancing round and round. Can we hear what can influence some of these electors that have not voted?
I think in this country, when it comes to the issue of election, we have different types of electorates. There are some who are convinced and influenced, by one's track record and performance in terms of good governance, while some can be easily, in spite of one's performance, can be easily induced monetarily, because our election has been heavily monetized in this country. So that is why those two sets of electorate will all determine those who are in for good governance and great performance of a particular candidate, and the one that they are there for whatever so much infrastructure, that what they stand to gain from the candidate during the election.
This SOMAC infrastructure, is this something positive or negative? Explain to those who are here to vote so that they know.
I think it has been part of our electoral process.
We will not allow it to be part. That's why we are here today. Fortunately, a great coincidence that will let them know, is it positive, good that they continue to seek after SOMAC infrastructure or not, or look at total infrastructure?
It's anti-progress, development. We are talking of SOMAC infrastructure, because I think it demeans and diminishes one as an if you feel that unless you are gratified, unless you are induced, so that means you cannot vote according to your conscience. So that is why it is not the right thing to allow to dictate who will into political offices in this country.
Please let us see. Maybe our Zoom guests are on. Can we? Are they ready for us? Please, once they are ready, bring them up. They will now call the in-studio talk and join them. Yeah. So those who normally are even expecting, because most of the time on election day, like we go out, you see voters calling us, introducing themselves to us. In fact, flashing their voters card. They are registered voters. That what do we have for them? They are ready to vote for us. So we are not contestants. We are just observers. But even with that, they still see jackets on us, wearing the election jacket as observers. They still encounter us that way in the public. Is that the right thing to do? And should it be encouraged?
It should be discouraged. In all ramifications, it's not the right thing to do. But as long as poverty is weaponized in this country, and an average electorate of voters who find it extremely difficult to make ends meet, then it's a golden opportunity for them to grab what they can lay their hands on during election period. That is why you see them, and it has to do with mindset, how one think or reason, because we are talking of 4 years tenure. The moment you compromise or you sell your voting right, that franchise, give it to you, then whatever that comes after it, within that 4 years period, you just have to take it.
But this mindset, can it be spoken against? Can people be educated on that in that regard? Can they be made to see that it's a bad mindset?
I've said the times without number that a lot of electorates or Nigerians at large we need political education. How to vote rights, how not to sell our voting rights, how to vote according to our conscience, not according to our stomachs. It is not something that should be encouraged. It is highly condemnable, and that we should not embrace such practices in our climate.
Yes, in our climate, because we see in other climes. That's another question I want to ask. In other climes, voters engage the contestant. What is your plans? What is your program? Let's even assume many voters have not had the opportunity of traveling out of this country. But we have seen it, particularly the way the American election took place, the way the voters engaged the contestants, and their responses, which were very sharp and clear. Not dancing, not rhetorics. Here, we see that voters don't even care. They are not interested in asking people questions about what is your plans for us. In what way can you better our lives? The Constitution gives you right and power to do this, to do that. Let's look at the local, the state. State is the foundation for development. The governor is to ensure that he promotes agriculture, education, industrialization, and of course those will lead to employment. How and in what way can they engage these candidates? Because after today in Ondo State, till the next 4 years, in way can they engage? Although maybe it's late, but again we'll maybe push this out to them and those states and places that the elections will be coming up, including the elections very soon, how can the electorate get better?
The comparison, Nigeria as a country, we are still way far behind the civilized world, whereby voters and electors engage their candidates and ask salient germane question as to what do you have for us in terms of good governance. That is why it still boils to the fact that we have a long way to go, as we need to be conscious, we need to be educated politically, and voters education too must be part of what we give out to this electorate, to know that it is not going to be business as usual for those who are vying for any political offices. That is why we need to educate them politically and otherwise, so that they will make the right choice in voting the right and credible candidate into offices. That is why it has to do with education, and nothing short education on how to vote right. So that's it.
Yeah, I want to appreciate this your answer, and I want to take it further. That apart from education, is there a way that now the voters too can now engage the candidates or the political office holder as a share? Once they are now sworn into office, they are no more candidates but political office holders. Is there a way, and what can you and how can you advise them? What strategy can you advise them in engaging political office holders so that they deliver on their campaign promises? Even if there is no campaign promise, they will make them to have something they call dividends of governance.
Education, is in diverse ways.
Yes.
There's a way our electorate can engage, the political seeking office.
After now they have won. They are now in office. They are now governors. They are now senators. They are now members of the House of Rep. How can the electorate now engage them to ensuring that they now deliver to them dividends of democracy? We know in Nigeria sometimes it is dancing. Some they just go and say, we are your people, we are from the same area. There is no serious political campaign. But now that they now hold office, how can they engage them?
To hold them accountable? Now, that is why governance is about inclusivity. Governance is inclusive. We are talking of participatory governance.
Yes.
The government and the governed.
Yes.
The moment they assume office, the electorate and the government must engage people who are the helms of affairs, who govern the affairs. So in such a way, they will have to make sure questions that affects their lives are put on the table, deliberated on, and wherever there are challenges, and multi issues, solution will be preferred to it. But the moment we feel that after elections, to your 20 old Israel, I think we'll continue to experience underdevelopment and retrogression in this country. That is why the government and the electorate have a duty as a citizen of this country, or as a citizen of any state, in ensuring the people at the helms of affairs are always put on their toes to make sure that dividend of democracy is accrued to them, and they enjoy what they are labored for in terms of investing, because voting is part of investment. Because you invested your time, you invested your resources, and you invested just mention it.
Yes.
So you can't just all those investment goes down the drain. You must make sure your investments, in that regard, are protected.
Yes, yes. Some few minutes ago, we some respondents who were praising the process so far. And in the next few hours, 2, 3, 4 hours now, we'll begin to hear stories. What will be your advice to all the contestants and their supporters if the story begins to change against what they are expecting? What will be your advice to them?
My advice to them is that, after, the conclusion of, voting exercise, into those Ondo election, first thing, is that they need to monitor their votes, protect, their votes, and ensure that the deserved, winner of today's election is the person that they actually voted for. Because I think election has gone beyond a situation whereby after you vote, you now go back to your various homes, because what happened thereafter, you don't even know. Although there are political and party agents who are there, but at the same time, it is allowed. Electors know that it's part of what you have to do.
Where I'm going is that now to the constants, they all have high expectation that they are going to win. If the story is changing that they are not winning, what is advice to them, to the contestants?
You take it as one of those things.
Okay.
Election is periodical.
It's
not a do or die affair.
Good.
It shouldn't be a do or die affair.
Good.
That simply because maybe if you lose to a better candidate, that does not mean you should now resort to violence.
Can they borrow from what obtains in developed climes, calling the victor to
that is we still have a very long way to go. Imagine the just concluded United States of America presidential election. The election was concluded within a few hours, not even a day. Within few hours.
It took them 10 hours.
10 hours to conclude and now decide the winner. But even the list of election in this country, which is a chairmanship for local government election, takes days.
Let's move forward. The question I ask is, will it proper for the loser to congratulate the winner, or to now just tell their supporters to go to town and cause mayhem?
In the spirit of sportsmanship, there's nothing stopping the loser of any election to congratulate the winner. There are still prospects. There are still better chances.
There's life after that election.
Exactly, life goes on.
Yeah, and to the winner, what will your advice be?
The winner too should be magnanimous in victory and ensure the loser are carried along. I think there's nothing stopping the winner of any election to include losers of elections in their programs.
Okay, I want to thank you, my brother, for coming. It has been a great time with you. It's unfortunate that technology did not connect us with our correspondents on ground, but I know that maybe the next program that is coming up, they may be on ground, they may be able to get the connection, because I know as an observer too, sometimes we don't stay in a point. We go sometimes in groups, we go in groups, and they may be on the move, so getting network, particularly in one rural area or the other, may be difficult. I know that. That's why, because I know that the technical crew were very busy trying to connect them, but it didn't clue. That's why maybe by the time next time we're able to get them from in the studios, they may be in a better position within signal, so that they can come up very well. Be that as it may, that is our show today. We hope you enjoyed our own part of today's program. Don't go away. The studio is still on for Ondo Decides 2012. And I want to say a big thank you to our guest, Comrade Aki today. I really appreciate you for coming. In fact, for the time spent. Until next time when we come your way, I'm Wale Ogunade, your host on Voters Forum. I will tell you, stay out of trouble. God keep us.